Hey guys, welcome back to the Run with Jay channel. So in today's video, we're going to be going over mistakes that new runners make when they first start out running. So being a relatively new runner myself, I've made probably all of these mistakes. So we're going to be going through these mistakes and then talking about how we can correct them so you guys can be out on the road longer without having to be sidelined with injuries and things like that. So if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications, and let's get started. So the first mistake that most runners make is choosing improper shoes. So like me, when I first started, I picked up any sneaker that I can find, a pair that in the closet that I use for maybe cutting the grass or just walking around town, or that I've had for like years. So, I quickly found out after using those that those are not gonna cut it. My legs started hurting and these just were not comfortable, and I knew something wasn't right. So what I did was, I researched shoes online. I went to actually a running store to get some ideas and feedback on what my actual foot size is compared to running, because I was also running in shoes that were too small for my foot, because when you run, your feet expands a little, so you want to have some room in the toes for that as well. So I learned a great deal from just doing research, visiting a running store if you have one near you, and just going to a big box store and going to the running shoe section will not cut it, because not all shoes are made the same. So some shoes might be stiffer, bouncier, so it might not be comfortable for you. So things you want to do is, if you have a running store by you, go there, talk to the people there. They're very knowledgeable. Get your foot size properly, and try out the shoes in the store even to see what feels more comfortable to you. So the next mistake that I did as a new runner, and that a lot of new runners make as well, is trying to do too much too soon or overtraining. So while you're running, you're feeling good, and you're like, okay, I'm doing great, I can keep running. So you go out and you do too many miles a day or a week, and then what happens? You start feeling pain somewhere in your legs. You get IT band issues. You get plantar fasciitis, which is the worst, and it's just aches and pains anywhere, and you can't figure it out. And the more you run, the more it hurts, and then you have to sit out for a week or two or even a month, just to make sure you heal properly, and then all your training and progress goes away. I mean, it won't go away, but it'll be stalled for a while. So that's definitely not fun. So when you're starting out running, you want to make sure you're sticking to a plan and they're not overtraining. A lot of people say you should follow the 10% rule, which is not doing 10%, only doing within 10% more of your last week's run. So not increasing your mileage too much, because there's times when I went from maybe like 20 miles a week to like 40, and I definitely got hurt, and that sent me back 2 weeks. So that's not fun. So you want to make sure you're helping your body out by not doing too much too soon and getting injured and by overtraining. So have a training plan out there, stick to the 10% rule, and if you're any signs of pain or anything, just stop and rest. As a new runner, you're not chasing gold medals or anything like that. So you want to make sure your body is taken care of and that you're not overstressing it, so you can avoid injuries and you can be out on the road for a longer period of time. So the next mistakes that runners often make is not dressing properly for their runs. So I do this all the time. To this day, all of these mistakes I still make as well sometimes. So when you're going out for a run, you want to first make sure, you want to check the weather, to get an idea of what the weather's going to be. So the last thing you want to do is go on a long distance run and halfway through the run there's thunderstorm and rain. So you want to keep yourself safe. So check the weather before you go out for a run. And always, remember that when you run, your body's going to warm up, so it's going to feel warm. So I try not to overdress when I go for a run. So if I know it's going to be like 50 degrees, I always dress a little bit down like it's 60 degrees. So for instance, I usually, for something around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I would wear just like a t-shirt, or even a tank top with some running sleeves and long socks and shorts, and I should be fine. And when you start running, you might feel a little bit cold, but as you run, your body's going to warm up and you're going to feel fine. People look at you like you're crazy when it's like cold and you're running outside with shorts on. So remember, your body will heat up, and it'll get warmer as you go. But if it's really cold outside, obviously don't forget your hat and your gloves, because the last thing you want to do is have your hands freezing while you're trying to finish a run and then get frostbite or something terrible like that. So also in the summertime, you don't want to dress too much as well. I mean, you can only dress down so much, right, in the summer. Tank top, shorts, anything, because you're going to be sweating like crazy. So for winter time, don't overdress if it's not too cold, but make sure you check the weather and you should be fine when you get out there. So the fourth mistake that new runners often make is not having proper form when they're running. So similar to what I did, I had no idea when I went out to run that there's a proper way to run to minimize the energy loss and making sure your body is not landing awkwardly. So it took me a lot of trials and tribulation and research online to figure out what's the actual proper way to run. And it's different for everybody. Some people might have pronation issues, but there's basic guidelines that people should follow while running. So obviously for the top, you don't want to be super stiff. You want to feel loose on your upper body. You want to be a little bit leaned forward over as well, and not just straight up where it's awkward for your body as you're striding. You want to be leaned forward a little bit, and you also want to keep your arms to the side, swinging back and forth along with your legs to give you that energy as well. And you want to make sure if you're going out for a long run that you're stretching during the middle of the run, so your arms are not cramped out, and you're improving blood flow throughout your upper body. Also, you want to make sure when you're striding, you're not doing a lot of heel striking, because it's awkward for your feet as you land, and it doesn't get help with the propulsion to keep you running longer. So you want to land ideally in your midsole as much as possible. I know some people run strictly on their forefoot, which is difficult for me, but you want to make sure keep in mind, even as you run and get tired, you want to keep your form, because that'll keep you out in the road longer, and you don't risk getting injured by not running properly. So the next common mistakes that runners often make is going out too fast too soon. So definitely this was my case when I did my first race. I wanted to I felt the adrenaline on the crowd and everybody there cheering. So as soon as the gun went off, everybody started running. You wanted to follow the pace of the faster people. So what happens is you you go out too fast, and then halfway or even a quarter way through your run, you're entirely burned out, and you have to literally start walking because your body, your lactate is building up too fast, and your body just can't handle it. So that's something definitely you do not want to do, especially in a race or even a longer race where you're going to have to keep running for a greater distance. So what you want to do is make sure if you know already, your pace, what you're comfortable at. Just first find out what is your regular running pace that you can have a conversation in, and that'll be your striding pace that you should always work around in terms of training and things like that. So you always want to it's always good to start out slow, and then you can build your way a little bit faster throughout time. Otherwise, if you go out too fast too soon, you're gonna get burned out, and you're gonna end up walking on the side, and it's not gonna be comfortable, and you'll feel bad yourself. So always make sure you start out slow if you're a new runner, and don't worry about these faster people passing you. As you run and you're keeping your pace consistent, you're going to be passing people in front of you as well that went out too fast. So as a new runner, just make sure you keep your pace, don't go too fast, and your overall goal should be finishing the race or the run. So another common mistake that runners make is, when they start running, they're motivated and that's the only thing they do from now on. So, that's great in theory, but, just like with anything, your body's gonna need variety. It's gonna need, something else. Otherwise, you're gonna get burned out, you're gonna lose motivation, and your muscles are not gonna be able to keep up with all the training that you're gonna be throwing at it. So what I did was I incorporated other forms of exercise like weightlifting, not doing too much, maybe a couple of days a week, doing some leg work, especially, make sure you don't do that before a harder workout because, running after doing leg day in the gym is definitely not fun. So, make sure you do some other sports, like, do some cross training if you have a bike, or if you can go to a gym, do some, cycling, it's something like that, anything where your body's not just consistently running all the time. It'll be great for your body and also develop your muscles that'll be able to make your legs stronger so you can run longer and faster. Another mistake that I made a lot when I started running is not warming up, because warming up takes time, of course, and when you want to go for a run, you just want to go out there and start running. But that's definitely not a good idea, especially if you're doing early runs, like getting out of bed or the outside is cold, because your body is stiff. It's not ready to be put in that pace yet, and what happens is you're gonna get muscle tightness. It's not gonna feel comfortable. Your legs are gonna hurt. You're gonna have IT band issues. Everything's just gonna feel tight, and you're gonna not feel good, and that'll cut your run short, and you might get injured, which prevents you from running further. So that doesn't help anything. So want to make sure that you stretching before a run, just even any sort of stretching, just to get your muscles loose. Like I have a video on pre-run stretching. I like to even foam roll before my run just to get the blood flowing, and to get my muscles ready for the and the legs ready to run out there for whatever distance you're doing. You can't go from 0 to 100 when your muscles rested to running super fast. So you need to give your muscles kind of like a heads up, like a kind of warm up and stretching to make sure it's ready to be able to go out there and tackle your run of the day. So never forget to warm up before a run, and especially even after a run too as well. You want to cool down and do some stretching, but it's very important before a run so you don't get injured, you don't get cramps or shin splints, or IT band issues caused by people not warming up enough before a run. The next common mistake that I made as well is not fueling or drinking enough water or liquids before a run. So, when you're in the moment of getting ready for the run, the last thing you want to do is, remember to hydrate. So, especially if you're running in warmer climates, that's going to be a terrible idea, because you're going to go out there, you're going to sweat so much, and you're going to be dehydrated, and you're going to be in risk of having a heat stroke, and you're not going to be able to run as much, and you're just going to be tired in general. And same for in a winter climate, even though you're not sweating as much because it's so cold, your body is still losing liquids from running, and it's you won't be able to tell. So your body needs water and food in order to run properly. So don't forget to, maybe an hour or two before a run, just drink like 24 ounces of water, some sort of liquids to hydrate your body, and also make sure you want to eat something small as well. I usually like to have a banana, a bagel, or some toast before a run. Nothing too heavy where my stomach will be digesting while I'm running, but just enough so I will have fuel to get me through the entirety of the run. So before you run, you want to make sure you hydrate before, eat whatever small food like snacks or bananas like I was talking about earlier, and make sure you hydrate after and during a run as well if it's available. So the last mistake that I want to talk about and that I definitely made as well is trying to be like other faster runners. So when you're starting out running, or if you join a running club, or or you watch videos of runners on TV or online, you're gonna be like, wow, these guys are so fast. How the heck can they run, this fast, this long? I want to be just like that. So, and that's great because you have a model or somebody to look up to as a goal. But ideally that's not going to happen overnight. And if you try to train like them or run that kind of speed or distance or pace, you're gonna end up getting hurt, and it's not gonna do you any good. And you might just hate running in general and quit the sport because you're like, I can't do this. This is definitely not for me. So these people that you see that run fast or run longer distance or both are, well, they've been running for years and ages. Most of these people have been running since high school. They've been on track teams in college. They've done cross country, so they've had a whole history of training and behind them, and where they've been able to build up that base of running and mileage, so they are able to run fast and for longer periods of time. So as a new runner starting out, you want to just stick to your time and your pace and not worry about anybody else faster than you, because ultimately running is a sport that you're able to run basically against your own time and yourself, which is a great thing, unlike other sports. So running is sport is you can do just for for your health even, so don't even worry about your times or how other people are going faster than you. It's just concentrate as a new runner on you, your time, and your progress, because if you try to be like somebody else, it's ultimately gonna backfire. You're gonna overtrain, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get injured, and it's gonna help you. It might keep you out of the sport. You're gonna just lose motivation and not want to run anymore. So just stick to your own pace and your own time, and you'll be fine. So thank you guys for watching this video. So those are the common mistakes that new runners often make as well, and I've definitely made all of those. So if you guys have any questions, feedback, comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Let me know if you made any of these mistakes, or if you know of any other mistakes that new runners often make. So again, please hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the bell for notifications. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys on the next run.